everybody. That was my good Sean Lardo. My interpretation of you.
What a stellar way. Look, and I'm messing with my camera.
What a good opening. What
we
a good
are
opening.
an absolute train wreck today.
Already off the rail. All right, do over. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of IT Nation's PitchIT, where we bring on contestants to help give them sales coaching for a chance to win the grand prize of $70,000 in funding. How'd I do? Is that better?
Grand pies?
Grand prize.
Grand pies. We give away the grand pies.
Oh my gosh. Do you have a unicorn on your mic?
Yeah. It's magical.
It is magical.
It's magical. That's why. And unicorns are magical creatures. And yes, everybody knows. So yeah, I'm glad you can't say prize, but you can say unicorn. Amazing. So howdy, Alexandra.
How's it going, Sean? Long time no see.
It's been a whole 4 days.
I know. Did you miss me?
I impatiently counted, anticipated the time until we could be on together.
I know you did. I know you look forward to these with me now.
Yes, exactly.
Finally, we have, we get a chance to work together. It's so exciting.
I know. I'm so excited. And yeah, you know what? I'm glad that you were able to get the intro off finally. It took a little while, but I believe in you. And I also the one question I have is, why do we use such corny music to open this up, Ray Orsini that's watching this? So just curious why you couldn't do better on music. But anyway, that's something for a later date. In the meantime, we're here to talk about this whole event, huh? We are here. We've got a few contestants today, not just 2, but 3. So why don't we go ahead and bring up our first guest? We have the CEO and founder of ZenContract, Mr. Greg Sharp. Oh, hi, Greg.
Hey, Sean. How you doing?
I'm looking at your background. I just didn't think about it first, but I feel like you and I spent time in that place together. With a sunny palm tree.
This is from Punta Cana, where you and I were cruising around on a catamaran. That's right. It was a nice day, wasn't it?
I mean, it was a really nice day. It was probably one of the nicest days ever. And no, Ray, I'm not showing off.
So those days where not even you could take the piss out of the event or whatever. It was palm trees and beautiful water and nice drinks and.
Oh my Lord! NerdioCon does a nice job at that conference, and you did a great job at sponsoring the catamaran party. That literally was just nice to be on.
Yeah, it was good fun. Mm-hmm. Nice to see your face again. Nice to see you, Alexandria. How are you?
Doing well. I'm happy to be here and a part of the PitchIT series now. It's been fun. But yeah, what is it? We're not here to learn about me. We're here to learn about you. So why don't you tell us what your favorite color is? That's Sean's favorite question.
Favorite color, yes.
And I know you've been in the space for a little bit. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be where you are now.
Favorite color, navy blue. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what that means. You can probably analyze that later on.
Very conservative. Very conservative. Very good.
Yeah, which is actually not me. But I've been in this space, Alexandria, for near on 30 years now. Built up 3 MSPs in various forms. So started them from scratch. Hence the book here, From Basement to Boss. So all 3 of them have started from scratch, and then in various degrees have purchased other MSPs, wrapped them together and packaged them up, and then sold them on to various entities. So the last one was to a telco, which is owned by the New Zealand government. You can tell from my accent, I'm not local. I'm from the other side of the world, as are, I think, the other 2 people are both from down under as well that are on the show today. So the MSP space has been in my blood for a long time, and about 5 years ago, we looked at the way that we were in our MSP, were managing contracts, and we were very much not best in class, and we wanted to be. So we set about doing a lot of research and mapped out everything that it was to do with managing contracts, from signatures through to building the contracts to templatization through to receiving the cash and managing that process as far as the renewals. And we built some software and a process that was absolutely best in class, and that we're packaged up as ZenContract, and we're taking out to the market with great success.
So, you were an MSP, or you still are an MSP?
So we're an MSP. I sold my MSP in 2021 during COVID. We took it to market originally and got a price of a 4 times multiplier. That wasn't enough to make it worthwhile selling, and we set about the process of, during building this software, is to fixing up all of our contracts, making sure everything was on a longer term contract. There was proper break fix clauses. There was NCE clauses. We mapped all of that stuff out and got them all tidied up. And we ended up selling for a 10x multiplier, which is a significant difference.
Nice. Okay. So is that how ZenContract was born, you're saying?
Yeah, it was born it was an incubator project that was inside of our MSP.
And to clean up your contracts, essentially.
To manage our contracts from beginning to end. We were using the traditional way of grabbing a contract that we'd done before, cut and pasting some information, making all the mistakes that we would usually make, negotiating it via email, and eventually putting it into an e-signature platform, and then downloading it and storing it in the right place. And so what ZenContract does is it takes all of those manual processes and automates them, and also will allow you to report on your contracts and manage the renewals and exactly those touch points. So you're never making those mistakes again. So gone are the days where you used to go to your desk and try and find the contract. It's signed by one party, not the other one. It's got a dog print on it. Someone spilled coffee there. Those days are gone, right? So it's now all digitized, always referenceable. The contract's always signed.
I'm sure too, you guys offer some integrations. That's the big question, right? So what are your integrations, if any, that you already have in place? And do you have any that are coming out soon?
Yeah, look, we have integrations into ConnectWise Manage. Obviously for all of the customer information, the product catalog, the service catalog, all the integrations that you could imagine from end to end to be able to manage that contract process that are there with ConnectWise Manage. We have that with Data Autotask as well. We start with Halo PSA later in this year. It's fully integrated into the M365, Office 365 suite. So for all of your storage into your Outlook, so it manages and uses your Outlook and also into your SharePoint infrastructure as well. So great question. It's fully integrated into all of the tools that you need to be able to get this process streamlined.
So contract management, making sure that you kind of have everything in one place and that everything is up to date and dotted I's, crossed T's, if you will. Am I understanding correctly? Did I miss anything?
You are. It's a real combination. What makes ZenContract different, thanks for the question, Ray Orsini, is that this is a management platform, as well as we have Zen Design, which is a design service. If you want to get your proposals and contracts looking and feeling the right way, with all of your look and feel for your business to match your website, to match all of your other digital assets that you have, we can design that for you. It also we have in-house
some branding options. When you say design, you mean branding options?
Yeah, exactly. Some branding.
Awesome. We love that.
There is in-house legal. So we have the ability to be able to audit your master services agreement, your terms and conditions, and make sure that they are applicable. So we didn't have that last year. That's a new service. That means that we are directly head-to-head with our competitors, but also we have this beautiful software that manages the processes from beginning to end and gives you best-in-class contract management out of the box.
And those two that you mentioned, the branding capabilities and the legal advice, those are solely to ZenContract. No other contract management platforms are offering that right now. Is that correct?
That is true. So there's other people that are offering the legal side of things, and our friends Monju and doing that a great job at it, but no way to actually get those contracts in the field and make sure that they are seen and signed by everyone.
Awesome.
ZenContract gains all of that together, right? So legal as well as contract management, all under one roof.
And so for a newer MSP, maybe starting out wanting to use your services, do you have any kind of, templates that they can use? Or are they having to come in and then your software is just, making sure that they're clean and up to date?
So a great question. There's a full template library that goes across your master services agreement. Those can be tailored for your specific geography. It's not exactly the same to run an MSP as it is in Alaska or Brisbane. So we'd make sure that those are tailored. And then there is statements of work, templates. There is cybersecurity agreement templates. There's a whole range of templates in there in our market. They can just drag and drop.
Ray, I put another great question in the chat. If you can bring it up, please. What your compliance framework do you adhere to? Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. It's I think this is a great question. I think what it allows to do by utilizing our platform, it accelerates your capability to be compliant to ISO 27001. It'll assist with SOC 2 compliance. Our framework as such does not automatically get you that compliance. It will be a stepping stone into that. You'd want to work with ISO 365 or one of those other platforms to get you certified on those platforms. But certainly accelerates and will automatically fly you through the auditability of that portion. So when it comes to contract management, you'll get a great big tick on your audit.
Well, that sounds like a great advantage. So I definitely would make sure you mention that, because
it's certainly a path that a lot of MSPs are going down, Alexandria, to get ISO certified or get SOC 2 certified. So this is a great stepping stone and to accelerate that process.
Awesome. Well, Sean, did you have any other questions? I don't want to hog all the time. I know we have a few more contestants, so
I'm just enjoying my coffee. I'll just use I'm good here. I mean, this is actually quite nice for me. I don't have to worry about anything right now.
Yeah. You like this? All right. Well, let's go ahead and
really, Ray? Can you wait your turn, dude? Honestly.
No.
It's a great question. We're just to answer that. I mean, we're in the process with ISO 365 of getting ISO 27001 certified. We'll then be getting SOC 2 certified. There's more and more MSPs. We've got hundreds of MSPs using the platform now, from Alaska to Alabama, Brisbane to Berlin, but all over the place. But they are starting to ask more and more around the fact that, what certifications do we hold? So we're going through that ISO 27001 process now. Great question, Ray.
And for someone who's not familiar with that process, is that like end of the year you're going to be done with it? Is that
typically, I mean, for MSPs, it takes about 6 months. We're expecting for us, because we've got a smaller, more concise team, probably 3-4 months a year. We're targeting Christmas around there.
Awesome.
Yeah, good.
Amazing. You're amazing, Greg.
This is the least I've ever heard you speak, Sean. What's going on?
Nice. It's really
I'm doing all the speaking for you. So I mean, host you on a catamaran and just,
you guys are doing
Sean Lardo. Yes,
that was you. That was him.
Lardo.
That was him making fun of you.
I know he was making fun of me, Sean. Me and Mr. Sean go way back, so I like to razz him up.
I'm just contributing to this as best I can at this point.
You did say you're retired, so I'll give you a pass this once, and I won't razz you too much this time.
Will that fun at ChannelCon just a bit too much for you, or what?
ChannelCon was good. It was ChannelCon, and I was there from Sunday until Friday, and then I had to host my granddaughter's birthday party on Saturday with 50 people here. So like there was no break. Sunday was cleanup, because Saturday I was not cleaning up.
We should raise up that actually we've got a PitchIT lounge at the IT Nation APAC event coming up on the 21st of August in Sydney at the Hyatt Regency, for those that are listening. So there's 3 of the vendors that are on today actually have got together and created this very exclusive PitchIT lounge with red carpet and bollards and bouncers and a whole big travel competition. So that's we'll be tired. So when I'm speaking to you after that, no doubt we'll be tired then. So your turn to be tired right now.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I was at ChannelCon too, and I mean, I'm tired, but I did kind of butcher Sean's name, so maybe I am tired too.
Yeah, so. I think you should.
And also, in case my glasses are wrong, you look a little bit younger than Sean, so it's just an unfair advantage.
A lot younger than both of us.
Look, my grays are colored, but yes, I am a bit younger than Sean, I will admit.
My hair's colored.
All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring up our other contestant.
Hi, Greg. See you in a few minutes.
Yes, we'll see you in a few minutes. Mr. Cameron McFie.
You have to say goodbye to the last guest to bring on the next guest.
I said take him down. Just take him down.
No, you guys say goodbye, and then I'm thinking this song.
I was hoping you could help me with something today, Sean. I was hoping you could help me with something today, Sean.
I was hoping I wouldn't need to, but apparently I have to. This is bull. I was not here for anything but to look at Cameron's really nice haircut.
So, Cameron, welcome.
Thank you.
You are founder and managing director of Xeneth. So, tell us a little bit more about you.
So about me, my favorite color, not like Greg there, is that sky blue he had in the background. So yeah, and here's my dream board of like fish that I just can't catch. So it's all right, doesn't matter. So I like boating, going out, and not catching fish. It's a thing. But
you actually have your list of goals and bucket list are fish you can't catch.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow,
pretty much. Yeah.
You went about living an exciting life, Alex. This is excitement in front of you. This is like he's like Mission Impossible. Yeah, that's all.
I like it. I like the dedication and persistence. He's like, I know I can't do it, but it's still up there. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to persistently still go after it.
And it's the only picture on the wall, by the way. He's like, that's the only thing I care about.
Why do you need any more than that? Simplicity is key, right?
I love it.
So, Cameron, tell us a little bit more about how you got into the space and how you became a vendor on PitchIT.
Sure. Thank you for the question. I was a MSP back in the day / hosting company, a company called a Mantra. We did hosting and for government mainly was the big thing, but then did MSP stuff as well. We found, we did the old SPLA program, which a lot of people do here, or probably on this show, and we got smacked with $100,000 audit bill, which was a bit of fun. Someone was naughty, but a slap on the hand. But yeah, so it's like that's kind of sparked my interest in like making sure we get that reporting right and billing right, because we had to, look at back billing that $100,000, but we couldn't. So we just had to cop that bill. So I went from there to a company called Ripe, which is a software distributor in Asia Pacific. And my job there was to basically start the Microsoft CSP practice for them in, I think it's 15 countries. So yeah, that was a big thing. But part of that role was, as CTO there, was to look at all their billing and basically build a platform for them. We did an audit and found they were underbilling by 5%, which is massive for a $200 million public company. So this is a big thing that kind of once again sparked my interest in billing and my passion of getting that right and getting that accurate. So as part of that role as well, I spoke to a lot of MSPs. Obviously, you speak to a lot of MSPs being in that role, CTO of that, speak to hundreds of MSPs over all sorts of conferences and the likes. And a common theme I found was people were manually billing, which really surprised me. But it is a thing apparently, and even in very large organizations. And there's a lot of people coming to me about, how do we get that data from Microsoft into ConnectWise? Was it, I just get a recurring message. So that sparked the company Xeneth. So we're a billing automation software trying to help MSPs reclaim that revenue they should have been getting the whole time, but they haven't been due to misbilling.
So question then, you use Microsoft specifically. Billing is a universal problem and collecting is a universal problem in general. So you're auditing the full business. Is that what's happening? Is it able to look at all? Because and when you say this, I immediately think of like QBRs and things that are relatable, or a warranty master that looks at warranties of renewals and stuff that track a lot of this data, right? So are you in collaboration with those companies and integrate with them or whatever? Or are you pulling all those pieces for billing purposes, or are you auditing what's like, how are you reconciling is the question, and from where?
So there's two places. So we do two modules. One's Microsoft CSP, and the other one's your managed service billing, your MSA contracts that Greg was talking about before. So we're basically billing all those MSA contracts. So how we're doing that is, so generally same source, Microsoft. So we get the billing data from Microsoft for the invoice data. So obviously we've got the invoice data from Microsoft, so we can reconcile that to the cent, because we know what the costs are, we know what the sales should be, and therefore we can automate that. But on the same point, we actually have a look at what they've already got. And so compare what they should have compared to what they do have in ConnectWise or the likes.
Perfect. And then there's a funny thing is, obviously Ray and I have known each other for a long time because here it is. And going back to it, are you an on-prem agent running on a dedicated appliance, VMware, or a server? Like, how's this work? How's this operating?
So typically it's just connecting in. So it's all our infrastructure, which is all Azure infrastructure, connecting into Microsoft Entra ID or Microsoft Partner Center APIs or the likes. We don't put stuff on site unless you need to do on-premise servers, which we have a really small Windows agent, which we run on Windows servers. But typically we try to get people to build out of Azure AD or Microsoft Graph because you get more data. You get more data around the licensing, around what they're doing, and what sort of mailbox they're using, and that sort of thing. So there's a lot more there.
I have one quick question. One question, real quick. I'm sorry, because as he said this, think about what Greg said. He went through about getting his MSP up and to sell 10x. This would be so effective for those MSPs that are looking to go through M&A, right? Because
definitely. Yeah, well, so this is the thing that I look at these. There's lots of companies being bought by PE companies and all that sort of stuff around the place, and it's the quickest way to cash, as you say, right? Like if you clean that up, but the minimum I've seen, and I talk to all my competitors around the world, and they all say the same thing. It's a minimum of 5% in underbilling is what we see regularly, and the average is about 10% underbilling. So, if you look at you're a $1 million company, you can get an extra $100,000 straight away, just like that, just within 1 month by automating your billing.
Yep. And Sean, your dad had a great question as well. Does Xeneth help with aligning on-site and Azure-based account sync as well, or does it just billing and align users with the PSA?
So it's more Azure in the cloud as opposed to I don't know if you're talking about the on-site or your own data center Azure practices, or but it's more the Azure in the cloud. So the Microsoft Azure cloud-based solution that Microsoft hosts. So we're pulling all that data in, yes. So we're actually using the Microsoft invoice as a source of truth. So we've actually got all the data there on what your usage is from Microsoft, and we can pull it in. But we're not doing those appliances, the Azure appliances.
So I kind of as I'm looking at the line on-site and Azure, that's why kind of back to the question before is if there's MSPs that have legacy clients that have like even on-prem solutions, right, that they're selling things through there and running with that, and then they have their cloud-based stuff. So are you able to if they don't have, and it's not even saying if, most don't have a really good process in some cases and have not really consolidated. So if they don't, are you able to help them with that by looking at the records? Like almost like if you bring in a team that evaluates a company and all their assets, right? Same rules apply. I mean, it's a one-time audit, but they're supposed to help you fix it, right? So do you have that ability to pull from multiple data sources if need be, if there's an on-prem or if there's a cloud-based or whatever it may be? Are you able to do any of that?
We can, yes. So typically though, if they have on-prem, because they might have Office 365 or the likes, it's actually a hybrid environment. So you can pull from either side, and we generally pull from the cloud side. As I said, you get more data from there and more information about the licenses you're using and what's going on with them. Yes, you can get data from on-prem as well. We can do that, but we generally suggest go from the cloud side. So that's why, as I said, people are generally hybrid, so we can do both.
Because you can suggest all day long if you want. That doesn't change.
Yeah, sure.
Keep on suggesting, see how that goes, right?
It's fair enough.
You hope, but I've seen very few MSPs have best practice and best in class of everything.
I agree.
So just to dumb it down a little bit, you can help the MSPs align their billing, make sure everything's accurate. You're pulling in the data from what they currently have and making sure that is reflected on the bills that they are billing their clients. Am I understanding correctly?
Yeah, that's it in short. So basically pulling that Microsoft bill in is the Microsoft CSP side, and making sure we reconcile that to the cent. So some people have like this near enough is good enough policy. We don't have that policy. It has to be maximum accuracy is the whole point. So we're using that source of truth being the invoice from Microsoft. But from a managed services point of view, where we're using the data from Microsoft or from on-prem to actually go through a set of rules to work out what your active user count is. So trying to calculate that per user per month, the number of users in each of your customers, is a real challenge, and we help with that challenge and automate that integration in with ConnectWise and basically update your agreement additions there.
And perfect. And touching on integrations, other than the ConnectWise integration, do you have anything else that you currently have in place or anything you're working on?
So we integrate at the moment with ConnectWise, Autotask, Xero, and we have ServiceNow, and we're talking to people about NetSuite and SAP and all sorts of things. But so that's probably where we're different, is we do a more tailored solution and integrate with the platform that you have. And because we generally target higher end MSPs, helping them with those mergers and the likes, they have other platforms rather than just ConnectWise. So they might have NetSuite or SAP or all sorts of things I've seen.
Awesome.
Got it. Next, bringing up Greg, right? That's where we are
Yeah.
now, right?
Let's pull him back up for some
Hey
Q&A.
there, Cam.
Hello, nice to be back. Well done, Cameron.
Thank you, and to you.
Well, you're competing against each other, just so we're clear. In the long run, there's a competition.
It's frenemies, mate. Frenemies. It's good.
I feel like Greg does it on purpose. Like, you're doing great, even when you're really doing bad. He's like, yeah, just keep staying with this, because then he's like hedging his bet. Like, if he keeps saying it's a good job, you keep doing a shit job, he wins in the end.
So, question for both of you: do you offer free trials? Ray is asking in the chat.
So I'll answer the question first. So yes, we do. From a managed services point of view, we offer a free trial, helping you with 10 of your customers try and maximize your billing for up to 10 customers, basically for free.
Awesome.
So we run a fully subsidized 100% money back guarantee proof of concept. There's a lot of some heavy lifting that needs to be done to get this up and implemented, to make it seamless and get all the fruits and benefits out of it. So we don't just tend to set people free and go out there. That we've done a lot of study to make sure that doesn't work, or we've done a lot of study to understand that methodology doesn't work. Whereas with a little bit of help to get people started and understand their platform and map their digital process, they get a really, really high yield and benefit out of it. So all we charge is the first month, and at any time in the first 4 weeks, if they don't want to be there, that's fully refunded. So it's effectively a free trial. It's a bit more.
I agree with that. I agree with it. If there's no money invested, I feel like there's no investment in time, right? And
yeah,
and that's not the same. Like, there are software trials you can do for like developers and whatnot. That's good for them to have like a 30-day free trial that they go and buy themselves with no manpower. If you had to apply labor to it, I just don't understand that.
There's a lot of industry knowledge to understand what the best in class process is, and so we do 3 1-hour meetings to do that implementation. Again, underwritten by a full money back guarantee if it's just not right for them, so there's zero risk. But as soon as there's a little bit of money changes hands, then both parties have got an optimal sense of what needs to get done, and that way it gets done rather than just pushing it off. We know, both Cameron and I know from experience of running MSPs, that you're constantly drinking from the fire hose. So if you're not committed in some sense to making a difference and getting to an outcome, you'll push it off and just deal with problems. So this by having some money change its hands, it just makes a little bit of a commitment. We generally try and go past just one person to get 2 people's commitment.
And do you have a minimum client size? Another question Ray had in the chat.
We don't. We've got MSPs, from 1-2 people that just want to make sure that this is best in class and lockdowns before they scale. And then we've got 400 or 500 person MSPs, both in Australia, UK, and the US, that are using it to really advance their contract process. So, Cameron?
For me, no. The answer is no, really, but I would say, is there a point to automated billing if you're doing 1 or 2 invoices a month? It doesn't. There's no point at that point. So the answer is no. I don't have a minimum client size, but and to what Greg's saying, we've got a customer that's over 1,000 employees. So it's kind of big range, but typically our range is $5 to $10 million MSPs is where we seem to fit well.
There's a natural selection point, albeit that we've got various pricing levels you can come in on. But if you're not willing to spend some money per month in managing this process, then you probably won't go for the software. Right?
And what about another channel favorite question? Are you channel only?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so we're just direct to MSPs. We don't sell through MSPs to end customers. No.
I have a quick question. I want to go back because, and this is towards just Cameron. Actually, this is only for Cameron. You give away.
Seem to do a lot of speaking to me today.
You're welcome. Well, Greg does. He's good on his own. I know this now at this point. He's established. He's okay. Anyway, no, this is specific to what you said before, and this goes to the question about the minimum. If you're giving away 10 clients, they may not have any more clients. So you just gave a free. So how do you address that?
Yeah, so it's a period-based thing. It's only for 2 months is what we do with the 10 customers. And so to Greg's point as well, so there's two sides. Right? I actually specifically said on the managed services side. So we do the CSP side and the managed services side. The CSP side, we're doing a lot more work as far as an audit and checking that everything's right and looking through everything. So that takes a lot more time. So we typically don't do a trial for that. So it's like Greg, we do a sign up, but money back guarantee type concept. With that one, from a managed services point of view, I can get people up and running in 20 minutes, and they can get started. So
right, okay, all right. I'm just wondering, like, how do you even maintain business, because they might be good for the rest of their life at that point. We say their 10 clients are done. You've already audited and helped them fix it.
Yeah, look, if we help community, perfect, right? I'm all about helping, Sean.
Yes, I know. All right,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're getting all the love today, Cameron. So
Apparently.
On your side, it separates CSP and managed services. Are those different channels that you serve, or what's the difference?
So the difference is from a CSP point of view, that's around licensing. Now, the licenses won't necessarily match the number of users, whereas from the managed services side, that's either per user, per device, that sort of thing, which is, it's different in that way. So we actually calculate it differently from the Microsoft CSP side. We're pulling the data directly from the Microsoft invoice, whereas the managed services side, we're using a set of rules to calculate the number of active users. So it's not like pulling from an invoice to calculate the count. It's doing a calculation based on some rules.
Dean also had another question in the chat. I think we kind of grazed
Dean
over
always
it.
has a question.
Always got a question in the chat. That wasn't the one I was referring to, but we can go with that one.
Well, we're already there.
There we go. Well, we'll go with that one.
I'm getting all the love. I like the love. I love the love.
I was more curious to hear about what products might you replace that the MSP already has in their stack. Are there anything that your product could potentially replace?
I wouldn't say replace. Well, so look, there is competitors obviously to our solution. So like ConnectWise themselves have a product called User-Centric, which is doing that managed services count. The challenge with that is it doesn't do Azure AD or Microsoft Entra AD. So that that's one of the challenges there. Look, there's other products in the market that do CSV imports. And we don't replace them, but in that case, we kind of add to them. We're kind of very specific in what we do, and we do it on purpose, is because we find that Microsoft CSP and managed services is where people are missing out on billing the most.
So if you're not replacing, then how are you standing out? What's different from you than these other competitors out there that's going to draw the MSP to you specifically?
Number one is accuracy. So in short, basically, a lot of these tools are, I say near enough is good enough. And it's my favorite line because, as an example, I talked to one MSP yesterday, and they're saying they've got user-centric setup, and near enough is good enough. We've got that set up with some of our customers, and I'm not knocking user-centric. It's a great product. It's just, they're missing out on that Azure AD side, which means, and they said, we're just missing out on, like, say, 10 users. It's fine. Like, it just happens. And I look at that, and that's like $1,500 a month for them, which is like $18,000 a year they could be reinvesting into something.
And you
else.
guarantee 100% accuracy.
That's the idea, yes.
Awesome. All right.
Okay. I think we can go with the other question on the just real quick about who do you replace?
I already asked, but back to.
Yeah,
back to me?
Yeah, back to me.
Greg's allowed to talk,
My turn. So what we find with our MSPs that adopt our platform, they are moving away from things like Kaseya Quote Manager and DocuSign because we have e-signature built in. They're taking whatever their proposal management and proposal engine tool is. It might be a PandaDoc or Aquila that's not integrated into the stack, and they're amalgamating that all down into one area. We also have the ability for the MSP to monetize managing all of their end customers' platforms, all of their policy platforms, so cybersecurity policy, remote work policy. So some of those are in the GRC platforms, and so they're amalgamating that down. So typically they can streamline their stack down by about 4 or 5 tools by adopting ZenContract. So that's a nice positive benefit.
Awesome. Great. Look at you. Look at you go consolidating. And look, Cameron can't stop talking. He's like, what about me? I want to talk.
No, yeah. I just thought about like one point, which is like the obvious one I missed, which the one I replaced is manual billing. Obviously, that's like, it's just my brain. As soon as Greg started talking, I went, oh, whoops. Anyway.
We're tired. It's early for you guys. It's all right.
Yeah. He's one up in you, Greg.
So our favorite question we have been asking, if you were gonna duke it out in the actual battle ring with boxing gloves, who are you afraid to go up against?
In the pitcher competition?
I think it's about pitching, not just
not actually fighting, but I meant like that. I was painting a picture, Sean.
Well, but you never. In conclusion, all we knew was that they were going to put boxing gloves on and get in a ring.
I said we pitch it.
This how we sort things out down under anyway. Like I've done that corporate boxing thing, so it's I don't know. PitchIT wise, camera. I don't know who you. I mean, I think the guy from Giant Rocket Ship. He's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's a big dude,
and I think the product's good.
Yeah,
so
he's a big dude. By the way,
that's probably my pick.
I was going to be nice and say Greg, but you know,
yeah, no, disrespect the person on with you. Why would you even do that? I don't even know they even exist. But Dustin's like 6'4" or something, and he's like jacked. I was like, so I don't even want to physically fight him either. I don't, I think he'd probably knock me out.
We did a podcast together not long ago, and yeah, it was just good talking to him, and actually. I think I've introduced him to about 5 MSPs in this part of the world already, just because the product's really good, and also he's got that southern draw. He's kind of charming. So those two things go together. That'll be a good mix.
Oh yeah, he's something special for sure.
All right, Cameron, your turn.
Big compliment coming from you, Sean. You don't usually throw those out.
Well, don't worry. He got it last week at ChannelCon, so don't worry.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, so to your question, I like to run my own race and say I'm going to be good at myself, but yeah, look, I've heard all sorts of pitches and the likes, and yeah, there's some very interesting people as part of this pitcher program. So I'm not going to mention one name. I think there's a lot of good pitches going out there.
No, Cameron, this is not diplomatic.
Oh, come on, I've got to do it.
It's not diplomatic, Cameron. Put your face on.
We force you to answer here. I'm sorry. Yeah. You got to pick one.
They're all good people, Alex. They're all good in their own way. I really think it's a really stiff competition this year. Anybody can get it. So I'm afraid
as long as it's me. It's fine.
Don't worry, we're not going to make you actually fight them, but you do have to actually answer.
What I would like to raise is that I don't think there's ever been an international party in the finals. I think it's this year it's time to get an international.
Of course.
You guys need to branch out a bit.
Since we redid the program, yes, there was one, but it was virtual for the COVID year, and that was what's his face out of Australia, actually. God, I'll remember later. I wasn't involved yet. I came the following year, so he took second up against Gene from Traceless.io. I can't think of who he is right now. I'll get back to you guys on that.
Well, I was just saying, you've got 2 amazing international competitors here. We amazingly, we've got airports and we can fly. If you want us to get over there, we can go.
Wow, that's amazing.
You don't got to tell me twice. I'm ready to hop on a flight anytime.
True story.
We would welcome you with open arms down under. We've even asked Sean to come down to the IT Nation thing, but
they won't let me.
We're trying to organize the kangaroos to box instead. Yeah.
I'll come down. I just need to make sure they want to pay me to come down. That's all. And this doesn't happen. It's not in the cards.
I'm disappointed you're not coming to IT Nation Sydney, Sean.
That's what we're talking about. Like I don't. It's not in the cards. They won't let me right now. They have more important.
They
people,
won't let you? I didn't realize you needed approval for anything,
Well,
Sean. Wow.
I don't want to pay for it.
I like one of the questions on here from Lone Star 9 says, I'm still not convinced Australia exists. I'm in the same boat. I'm although that I have actually been there. I don't like to acknowledge it either.
The age-old battle between Australia and New Zealand. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, speaking of battles, I think it's time, guys. So are you ready to pitch it out?
Sure.
Pitch it out.
Yeah.
Greg, you're first. Wait till we switch around. Once that once that timer starts going, you can start your pitch. After 30 seconds, we'll make some really annoying noise if you're still talking to shut your face. So that's all.
All right, ready when you are. Look, imagine a MSP that has a contract management platform that is specifically designed for MSPs by an MSP. It manages the process of e-signatures through to templates, through to building the contract automatically into your PSA. You get this streamlined process all the way from signature through to cash, and it's built on 40 years of best-in-class practice. This system allows you to there you go.
Man, you are horrible, Greg.
Thank you.
Oh gosh.
Well, Cam, now I know why you're not afraid of Greg.
No. It's the smile, and it's the sunshine in the background. I think it is.
Meanwhile, we sat on that catamaran and he had drinks and he was like,
We just need to give him a few more drinks.
right.
Oh, mate, if there's bottomless mimosas here, mate, it would be on fire. But it's still only 30 seconds. I need 3 hours if I've got alcohol.
Maybe that whole theory you guys were talking about before, just stay up and pitch it out. That might work for you, sir.
Yeah.
All right, Cam, you ready?
Sure. All right. So Xeneth, we help the biggest problem that every MSP has, which is having time and having more money. So we do that through billing automation of Microsoft CSP and managed services contracts. We help the Jane in accounting get the most out of their billing and basically focus on other things that are more important in life. We help generally get an MSP more than 5% extra in their revenue. So it's a great thing to get a quick uptick in revenue.
Well, you're about to get the noise. You're about to get the noise.
Yes.
So close. All right. So, Alex, you got a chance to learn about these guys a little bit in their product. Do you know what they do?
I do. I will say though, I think I learned more through the Q&A than the pitch. Cameron, yours wasn't bad. I really wish you would have thrown in that 100% accuracy. I mean, that's a big statement to make. And I think you're doing yourself a disservice by not mentioning that. And Greg, I see what you're trying to do with painting the picture, but I think it would be better just to do that quick statement of how you stand out, the problem that you solve, the attention grabber. I would like to see that from you.
Sure.
Thank you.
I mean, you're all right. Both kind of ran out of time. You stumbled a bit on your words, which was weird. I don't know if it's something on the other side of the Eastern Hemisphere.
It's in the air.
What's going on over there? Yeah, right. It's in the air. No, yeah, seriously, you both are well-spoken people. I've watched you guys speak plenty of times, but you feel like you were kind of strung up. And I feel like it's just because Greg's a bad influence on you, Cameron. So
I think so. Yeah. I think so.
Just get to the damn point, right? You guys both have solid-ass products. I mean, Greg, I think of yours. I think right away we're able to consolidate contracts to expedite the sales process. Far too often people can't even send out a quote because they don't know where to find shit, let alone and that's various things like legal, pricing, whatever. It doesn't matter. But you guys consolidate all that. Why? I mean, that's it. The end. And I added more words for just shock appeal. Cam, you help people save fucking money. You consolidate as well. You're both talking about you both are consolidating products. You're also both in financial and sales enablement. Ultimately, so that's what you guys should probably focus on. And
the bit about how you're helping them get closer to being gosh, I'm blanking, the security, the
Compliant.
yes, compliant. Thank you. It's in there.
See, it's Greg. It's Greg is what it is. It's
It
freaking
must
Greg.
be going through the wire and getting over to you guys. So.
It's Greg. He's a bad influence. I'm telling you. No, but I think you guys should be just consistent. You guys are consistent anyway, and I've seen you both speak. It's not like it's a problem. But obviously, being under the gun was a little bit for Greg. I don't know. It's Greg's second year. It's not yours, Cam. So, Greg,
Practice makes perfect, right?
Keep him powder dry, mate. Just keep him a powder dry.
You would hope it makes it perfect, but this is Greg's second year. Is it perfect? No.
Oh, hush. Poor Greg.
We actually, Greg and I had a very good time at NerdioCon. Probably was our only real good bonding experience we had. We talked for like hours sitting there, and I learned a great deal that night about all the stuff he did because I didn't know. I mean, I know a lot of stuff, but this was the time we got to dig into it. Actually,
it's your second year doing PitchIT. So what from last year to this year, have you seen any major changes that you've really enjoyed this year? Have you think that anything this year that you've experienced helps you more? Just kind of comparing last year to this year, what's your takeaways?
So apart from the fact that I'll need to work on my 30 seconds in articulation of story, but outside of that, there's a great cohort this year. Like there's actually the group of people have got together and even spending more time outside of the sessions and sharing a lot more ideas, right down to the nuances of commenting on each other's PitchIT posts, to use the algorithm in LinkedIn and get more exposure. So that I think that camaraderie that is being started from the top from Sean and team, and certainly with the administrative help and acumen that's coming across from Sam, like that's really perforating out through the group, and then they're starting to come back around and help each other. That was much more so than last year. The quality of speakers are still as high as ever, but I think that's probably the main difference that I'm seeing. Running on a personal experience, running through the second time, you've got a much larger appreciation of your own offering. When you're in Cameron's space in the first year, you're still figuring out what you are actually doing and how you should take it to market. I've got another year under the belt, and we're bringing auxiliary services in to help the adoption of our software. That's probably the biggest thing we've done in the last year is added legal services, added design services. We just had straight software before. And sometimes it can be a little bit sort of overwhelming when you're living and breathing it and trying to tell people about what you do in 30 seconds. So that's what was great about the platform last time. We got it down to articulating our story within 5 minutes, not 30 seconds, but 5 minutes. And that was good. We now have more story to tell. So that's the job for this year, is to try and jam that into the 5 minutes in a way that's really easy to assimilate for the person listening. Clearly still got some work to do, but that's cool. I mean, it's good to get advice from Sean consistently.
One more thing for you too. You mentioned before when we were kind of doing the Q&A, the branding aspect. You're the only one doing it. I mean, anything that you are doing that you stand out that you're offering and other people are not offering, I mean, that should be in that 30-second pitch. That's going to draw. I mean, we love branding, right? We want to throw our name on it. So I think.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's good.
There's still not many people in our wider industry doing the whole legal stuff. Obviously, there's straight lawyers, there's Monjo, there's a little bit of a hybrid, and there's us. I don't think there's anyone else, but there is other people that have the ability to be able to get an MSA out there and get it signed, sure. But yeah, I will 100% highlight those extra services, Alex. Yeah, thanks for that.
Oh, absolutely. And what about you, Cameron? It's your first year in PitchIT. Ways.
The big thing for me is kicking my butt to get out there. I think it's so this year is the first year I've ever done podcasts and getting out there, and I think it's really making me think more about the business and focusing on the business and what we can do to grow. I think that's the big thing for me. That's the takeaway is not just the calls. Yeah, the calls are great. And people like Jay McBain and hearing all that data, it's great. But I think for me, it's more just focusing on my business and actually taking the time. It's forcing me to take the time and think about how to grow my business and get out there more is the point.
Makes sense. All right. Anything else you guys want to add? We're like at the top of the hour.
Yeah, look, there was just one question there from Dr. Zollberg around, am I replacing cell if I use your product? Many of the MSPs have reduced their cell count to just do it for straight quoting PCs and licenses, and everything that's MRR and managing those contracts and quoting and proposing those contracts is done via ZenContract. So, but they work hand in hand with the opportunity in the PSA to be able to do that. So obviously Cell is a ConnectWise product, so you don't want to replace that totally, do you, Sean? And
no, yeah, no, I mean, not even as a company guy or anything like that, because that's not the case for me ever. The reality though is they're good fundamental tools. When you look at ConnectWise, you look at Kaseya, we these companies pick up the core of the use of the MSP, right? You guys become the surgical knife, so to speak. That you're the extra mile that they mostly need to do certain things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's just how I see it. So you can probably look to replace things, or you can be complementary too. The one thing I think, and I think I speak for all the vendors in each year pitch itself for me so far since I've been in there, is that they've all been able to be standalone along with integrated into, which is nice. So
yeah. And ours is no different, right? So we have a full range of services, and then it adds a whole lot of value when you push it into your PSA to get that streamline from signature through to cash.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're out of time, right, Alex? We
are. Yeah, we got to wrap it up. So what's coming up next? Are you guys going to be featured on any other podcasts? Are you doing any upcoming webinars? Any conferences upcoming?
So for me, I've just released a book which kind of outlines all of the steps that we took to take that MSP from 4x to 10x and a lot of other life lessons along the way. So you can get that on Amazon. We've got the PitchIT Lounge at IT Nation APAC coming up in a matter of 2 weeks, which Cameron and I will both be hosting it. We'd love to see you there, regardless of where your geography is. Planes do fly to Sydney. Please come visit.
It is a country. It is a country.
Yeah,
I saw him in the Olympics. That's the only reason why I believe it at this point.
Well,
and I think for me as well. So yes, definitely IT Nation in Sydney, as well as Orlando at the end of the year. But I obviously the PitchIT competition. So like that's only 2 weeks away as well, right? Like so the Battle Royale. So
look at you,
So yeah, it's so already lots of preparing and lots going on in the background. So to tighten up that pitch.
Yeah.
Well, you got 2 more weeks. Perfect it, polish it, get ready, guys, and we'll see you all soon. For those of you wanting to continue the conversations, please head on over to the MMN Discord, and if you have any additional questions, we can continue the conversations there. There it is. Beautiful. Thank you, Oz. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. It was a pleasure getting to know you both personally and learning more about your products. And I wish you both luck and the Battle Royale.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Deuces, guys.
Of the MSP Media Network.